Alright, time for another double bill. We're going to do 2 runs today using the same Churros technology, which we'll demonstrate soon. And this one is actually starting on turn 9. Both runs are relatively different, even though it's the same mechanic being used. This one begins on turn 9 because the game lasts a very long time, and we're just going to have to cut out most of the early game here. So I get the Orchid mantis, which is one of the units that I'm interested in for this build, and it's a unit that I haven't used very much at all. It was added to Puppy Pack as a replacement for, I think it was Poodle. It's a 4-squad pet, so it's very similar to Macaque and Robin, the pets that spawn units at the start of battle. However, Orchid Mantis is different in that the spawned unit is summoned with stats that are a percentage of the Orchid Mantis stats. So it's very comparable to Macaque, but it's kind of the opposite, where it has a much better top end. You know, in the very late turns, you can have an Orchid Mantis summoning a 50-50, whereas Macaque is capped at 36-36. But initially, Macaque is going to be summoning units that are 12-12 instead of... I didn't actually notice what the size of the Orchid Mantis summon was there, but it's very poor initially. And I actually watched a Metabrusk video yesterday where he deliberately played a 5-squad because the summon was going to be so tiny, which actually makes a lot of sense. I tend not to like doing that when, you know, opting out of using a pet's ability, but in this case, it would have made a lot of sense. But for now, we're just going to play the Mantis anyway. So there you go, you can see the Mantis. Even though we have buffed the Orchid Mantis quite a bit, it's only summoning, what was it, 12-5 or something. You know, it wasn't a particularly good summon for turn 10. But as soon as we can apply some stats to the Orchid Mantis, it's going to get a bit better. And what I want to do with this particular run is have the Orchid Mantis summon 2 units. And we can do that with Tiger. It's funny, really, you don't see much Tiger usage with the 4-squad pets. I suppose it makes sense because then in the shop you have to run a 3-squad. But my thought was to play a 3-squad with Leviathan in it. Now, Leviathan is a unit that a few months ago was the absolute bane of customs, and after it was toned down, you never see anyone play it. However, I still think it's pretty solid. So you can see here that the Tiger does work with the Orchid Mantis. It's just going to work at level 1 for now. So the second Mantis that gets summoned is back to being very puny. But once we get the levels going on these units, and that is something that Leviathan can definitely help with, because every turn it's going to give us 2 tier 6s on level up. So we're going to get to level 3 Leviathan and level 3 Tiger very quickly. And then we can also take the traditional buy sells to improve the strength of our squad. Now, there's nothing new about buy-selling Mongoose on turn 12. I think Mongoose must be one of the most common buy-sells from turn 11 onwards. But what I want to do is actually manipulate the start of battle order here. So you can see in this battle, the Orchid Mantis gains Coconut, and then it summons the 2 green Mantises. I don't want that to happen. I want the green Mantis to get the Coconut. Now, I'm just going to keep freezing Mongoose because we're going to need to buy sell to refresh the toy fairly regularly. And that's also going to be enabled by Leviathan. We're just constantly discovering more tier 6s. So we're going to get those Mongooses on a fairly regular basis. But again, you can see the same thing happens here. The Orchid Mantis gains the Coconut. In this example, we actually face a micro team, so we're going to lose the equipment anyway. And yeah, we get a Crow here. We get the level up. Ideally, I would have had Leviathan level 3 much quicker than this because I wanted to be getting the double level ups. If it at level 3, the Leviathan takes a level 1 fish all the way up to level 3, and so you get 2 sets of level up rewards, which is going to help us find the remaining Tigers and then additional Mongooses much more easily. But ultimately, I also need another piece of equipment here. I'm sure I will have put this in the thumbnail or at least hinted towards it. And the item that we're looking for is Churros. Now, Churros has been a great addition to the game. It allows a lot of different things to be possible, which otherwise would have been very, very difficult. And what it allows us to do in this scenario is change the order with which the toy interacts with our team. So I wasn't aware of this for quite some time, but Churros actually makes pets' abilities go before the toy. Start of battle pets, that is. So if we give the Orchid mantis Churros, that will mean that the 2 green mantises will be summoned before the coconut gets applied. So although the Orchid mantis itself won't have a coconut, I think it's much better to have the coconut on the units at the front. You know, coconut from position 3, 4, 5 is much more likely to get removed by, snake or cobra or other mid-battle snipers. So here we go with the strength of the double level up. We get the tiger to level 3. So now we're going to be summoning 2 maxed out units from the Orchid mantis. Well, they're not. I'm sure they're not going to be maxed out yet. But they're going to be pretty close. I think once you get it to level 3, it's 120% of the Orchid Mantis stats, I think. Let's see here. Okay, 45, 44. So we're very close to getting a double 50-50 summon. It's kind of funny, really, that a unit that is widely considered to be weak can potentially summon 2 50-50s at start of battle. So we get another double level up. Unfortunately, we don't get Mongoose this time. But I think what I'm going to do here is set up, I make a mistake here. I set up to get the level 2 crow, thinking I would be able to then buy the chocolate onto the mongoose, but it doesn't work like that because you need 1 chocolate and then 2 mongooses. Bit of a mistake there. It's probably the first time ever where I have generated the double chocolate. You can see I'm moving my mouse around there because I've made a mistake. Yep. I'm just going to actually have to give up on the double chocolate because it doesn't help me at all. Because my entire team is already level 3. Now we're very close to getting the double 50-50. We play a whale plus Anubis team. I think we're going to be okay though. I think having the double lemon on the units at the back is also pretty nice because it just absorbs a lot of snipes. Yeah, we end up tying. I did say at the beginning this game goes very late. But the other benefit of having Leviathan in this scenario is that we're getting 2 chicken legs for free every single turn. On top of the 3 gold that we get for selling the fish. So yeah, Leviathan definitely still a strong unit. I'm not sure why we don't see it so often. I guess the other options that are ultra strong in the late game are just easier to play at this point. So I think here I'm not rolling for Churros, I'm just rolling to save up Mongoose. Because I want to get level 2 Mongoose in 1 turn, and therefore be able to give both the spawned mantis the coconut. Now here's Broken Bench playing Dung Beetle plus Anubis, although the Dung Beetle does very little damage, so I'm not sure exactly what was going on here. Yeah, I'm watching you, Bench. So we get our free chicken legs again, we sell the fish. We don't get any more mongoose on the level up, which is unfortunate. But I think I'm just going to take, we're just going to take the coconut again. It's turn 19. We're very, very likely to be facing full 50-50 teams very soon. And we're going to need the coconut to have any chance. But luckily here we get chocolate and mongoose, so we can go for the double palm tree. And I'll just set up for the exact same thing again in case for when the coconut runs out. So you can see how strong this is now. We end up getting the double coconut on the 2 spawn 50-50s. Is that the first time in SAP history that anyone has seen 2 50-50s being summoned with coconut at start of battle? I don't know, maybe there's some setup that I'm not aware of where someone has done that already. But even though it was turn 19, we managed to win. And of course, we are missing out on having, strong equipment on the Orchid Mantis. Lemon would be pretty good, but I think having the coconut on the front units is just better overall. So we're just going to freeze up the free buy sells, and then yeah, here we go. See, very strong team. The leopard does not hit the coconut, which is incredible. So it's a very easy win. So that puts us on to 9. And actually, even though we have half the shop frozen, we still get mongoose. And unfortunately, because of Leviathan's ability, I wasn't able to freeze it there. I was actually right-clicking, trying to freeze the mongoose, but it seems like you're locked out from doing that. So kind of unfortunate, but we're just going to take the palm tree and then roll and hope to find another one. And actually we get it, so incredible shop luck on rolling mongoose. We buy the orange, which thankfully avoids the orchid mantis because it's already 50-50. And then it's actually a weirdly low-statted team for this late. I guess Mammoth level 3 mushroom does do a lot. But I think, again, the coconut blocking all of the attack damage from their biggest units is so important. And it's a win for the 3-squad Orchid Mantis Tiger Leviathan. And we get the achievement as well. Alright, we have one run in the bag using this tactic. How can we expand on this further? Now, full disclosure, this run was actually recorded before the Orchid Mantis run. However, I think it's a little bit more interesting overall, and so I'm playing it second. This one, I want to make use of the exact same technology, but the team composition is going to be a bit more awkward, and we're going to have far lower stats compared to the previous run. So we pick up Skunk on turn 5. There was a while where I just did not take Skunk in custom packs at all, because I felt like, you know, it was... I don't know if crutch is the right word, but it felt like it was often much easier to win with Skunk. And of course, we don't want to have the same units in every single run. But sometimes, you know, the pool being the way it is at the moment, sometimes you just have to take these units. If you know there are certain players out there who are playing one big unit every single run, then it makes a lot of sense to take Skunk and give yourself a chance of at least winning 1 or 2 extra rounds as a result of that. So we're going to take the level 2 Skunk here, sell our biggest unit. Okay, maybe I'm not going to take the level up yet. I guess I'm probably going to be saving the level ups for tier 6. There are a couple of tier 6 units that I want. Yeah, I guess I'm just rolling down for more skunks and crows. Although I do take Gelada. I've been doing this so much recently where I buy a Gelada fully intending on using it, and then I end up selling it the next turn. I think it's just so enticing because you can potentially Water of Youth the Gelada, the sleeping Gelada afterwards, and get another tier 4, which is crazy broken, but while it's available, you know, we might as well use it. Yeah, it looks like I'm not going to take the level up here yet. We're just going to save it up. And we'll take the foam sword for some tempo. Yeah, so I've been doing this so much where the Gelada comes in, and then a lot of the time I just end up having to sell it because there's, you know, I don't want to spend an entire turn just trying to get the stats from from feeding it. But it looks like we're going to be okay here against double banana pill. Yeah, 1 HP win. We'll take that. I think in this run I do end up using the Gelada though. Okay, we're going to use Cyclops to get to level 3. We get Real Velociraptor, which is one of the units we care about. However, we need other units first, I think. And it looks like I am going to feed the Gelada here. Okay, we get Real Velociraptor again, so probably I am going to take it this time. Okay, there we go. Gelada actually gets to do something. I've had so many runs recently where I just had to sell it, and it's pretty painful. Especially when you realize afterwards that you don't have Water of Youth in your pack, and so you know, you never had a chance of transforming the sleeping Gelada anyway. Here's Vulture Guy. It was interesting to see people being concerned in one of the recent videos where Vulture Guy didn't appear, but here we go. I have actually seen this person playing some units besides Vulture recently. Maybe that was just them taking one day off from Vulture gameplay. So now we get level 3 skunk, and then we get the tapir. Now the tapir is the linchpin of this whole build, and I'm going to immediately give it Churros because we need it to go off before the toy. Now one of the first things I tested when they changed Tapir's ability, if you're not aware, the way Tapir works now is it's very similar to Macaque and Orchid Mantis in that it summons a copy of the backmost unit at start of battle. So the first thing I did was check to see if using Churros would allow you to have Tapir summon a start of battle pet, and then that pet's ability to go off. Now it doesn't work, which is fine. It makes perfect sense that it shouldn't work. However, we can actually play around that if we use a pet that does not have a start of battle ability. So I'll give you a second to think about which pet it might be. Hopefully I won't have spoiled it in the thumbnail. I almost bought the real Velociraptor as a 5 squad pet there, I think. Here's Infected Player playing a level up team. Though we put the Lucky Cat down to 1 health. Yeah, we're going to lose anyway. Of course, Evil Book's there as well. Infected Player knows how to get things done. So now we're just on the hunt for the last remaining units we need for this team. We get level 2 Tapir, which is a nice boost, and there we go. There is the Puma. But of course we don't have a toy yet, so we're going to need to keep rolling and try and find it. Maybe I'm just going to take the Puma now anyway. Okay, we'll take the rock in the hope that it can save us a heart. And here we go, we get matched with one of these Dung Beetle plus Anubis teams. It looks like, yeah, we do actually win in this scenario. So presumably they didn't buy that many farmer cats last turn? I'm not sure. So we got to find the mongoose before we can do anything. I'm going to try and get Tapir to level 3 though. Of course that does just give us a bunch of stats. We don't find it on this turn. There we go. There's mongoose. I did roll past another Puma, but we don't really need it. We do end up facing a Hummingbird Axolotl team, and it looks like we're going to end up losing. Yep, no question about it at all. The real Velociraptors tried to help out by giving the skunk back the Brussels sprout, but yeah, actually relatively close in the end, but not going to be good enough, so we are on 1 heart now. But now we can get the combo going. So we're going to activate the palm tree, we're going to bring in the Puma, and this is where we're going to cheat the system, because the Tapir is going to copy the Puma, and then it's going to work when the toy activates, because the Puma is going to be spawned before the toy triggers. So this setup actually gives us a full team of 5 coconuts. And we have the real Velociraptor, so we get one of the coconuts back when it gets broken. And of course we can improve that a little bit more if we manage to level up the real Velo. But I thought this was a really fun interaction, the kind of team that you just don't see very often. You do sometimes see people playing full coconut teams with Puma, but usually it's just all the normal toy pets and a bunch of chameleons. But this is a fun alternative if you feel like giving it a try. And this is perfect. We get matched against a Monty team. So the coconut is actually going to block 30 damage from Monty, gets blocked twice. And the coconut armor is going to get us the win because we had absolutely no chance whatsoever without it there. Really fun and unique build in my opinion, using a mechanic that I think has kind of flown under the radar.